All right, well, thank you guys so much for being here. Today's a great day for Arizona. It's a great day especially for the children of Arizona. You know, in 2021 and 2022, we passed two historic bills here at the legislature along with my colleagues. One was 2889, the other was 2696. Both dealt with human trafficking, sex trafficking, child sex crimes. They literally put us at the top of the country for dealing with sentencing regarding those heinous crimes, which included life in prison, mandatory sentencing. It also included no parole, no early release. And it's important that we as a state take the lead on this because other states look at us, they try to follow us in many other categories. This one now has come to the forefront, and it's extremely exciting to see that we are coming together to do it again this year. So with the leadership of Senator Bullock, Representative Bliss, we have two bills that we're bringing to the ballot. It will be a ballot referral that will add life in prison for anybody involved in child sex trafficking or child sex crimes, which is a huge win for the state of Arizona. We want to make it very clear to everybody in the state, across the country, our children are not for sale. And if you are involved in these heinous crimes, we are putting you away for a very long time, because in this bill, we're throwing away the key. This will be life in prison without parole or early release. It's when you do these sentencing, especially when dealing with these kinds of crimes, you have to do this to stop the crimes from happening. And this is the whole point of Arizona and why we're taking the lead. Thankfully, the Republican majority in the Arizona legislature has made it a priority to address these crimes. And with an administration in D.C. that has failed us at the border, it is up to us as a state to take the lead to do what needs to be done to protect our children. It takes a voice from those with a microphone to shed the light on these crimes. And I want to thank Angel Studios. I want to thank Tim Ballard, Jim Caviezel, because they had the courage to come out with their film, Sound of Freedom. When they had that film come out, it finally exposed the ugly underbelly of these crimes. And with the help of my colleagues standing with me today and those I know that are in committee and can't be here, we are passing legislation like the one we're talking about today that will make Arizona the strictest in the country when it comes to child sex crimes. So I want to turn it over to the two sponsors who are extremely courageous, and I'm proud of both of them for taking this on and running this bill. First, Representative Bliss is going to come up here and kind of explain a little bit more about the bill and why this is so important for her. So thank you, Representative.
Thank you, Majority Leader Leo Biasucci. Today we take the first step to be the first state to proclaim the strongest protection for our most vulnerable, for our children. We do so where we can proclaim our state's values, those found in our Constitution. I'm pleased, proud, and honored to be prime sponsor of Arizona's Children Are Not for Sale Act. As we file this House concurrent resolution, that is HCR 2042, House co-sponsors, we will send to and we have 29 House co-sponsors, by the way. We're going to send this to the voters to mandate of life in prison for those who commit the depravity of child sex trafficking and for those who pay to abuse a child. 14, folks, age 14. That's the average age in Arizona that these abused children are forced into these acts. And we're talking about boys and girls. Today is the day we begin the process to allow Arizona's voters to say no longer, not in our state, not once, not ever again. Simply put, under this amendment, if you sell a child or buy a child, you're going to prison forever. Let me be clear. Harsher punishment isn't our goal, but it's the ending of the selling and buying of children in Arizona that's our goal. And that can only happen when we return to a society that says, as loudly and overwhelmingly as possible, in Arizona, our children are not for sale.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us in the Rose Garden today. My name is Shauna Bullock. I'm a mother, a wife, and a protector of our kids. I stand here today at the ready to stop child sex trafficking of minors across Arizona. When I served in the House during legislative sessions 2019 and 2021, I successfully worked on ways to help stem human trafficking. In 2019, I requested an anti-trafficking grant program providing $300,000 in new community grant opportunities to nonprofit organizations, helping survivors of human trafficking receive support services and shelter. The Attorney General's office delivered programs that expanded survivors' access statewide to temporary or permanent shelter and/or mental health, education, medical care, vocational training, substance abuse treatment, research, and other related support services to victims of human trafficking. Human trafficking is not specific to any age, race, or gender, and it occurs throughout rural Arizona, the suburban area, and urban areas all across our Grand Canyon state. After the success of these programs in 2021, I also worked with Attorney General Brnovich to enact legislation that passed unanimously that allowed victims of human and sex trafficking to take civil action against their perps and anyone else who contributes to their abuse. With the wide open southern border and derelict government agencies, cases of human trafficking are on the rise in Arizona. Today, I stand here to protect our minor kids, along with my colleagues and other nonprofits. According to the AG's office, the average age, as Selena Bliss has already said, the entry into sex trafficking is 14 years old. We stand united in a message to send to those disgusting animals responsible for stealing our kids' innocence that this needs to end. Arizona's children are our most valuable resource. We would like everyone to know our children are not for sale. I don't care if you are a trusted adult holding a position in authority, such as a school teacher, a boys basketball coach, or a church summer counselor. Our minor children are not going to be for sale. You have to listen to us loud and clear. If you knowingly try to engage in sexual acts with minors in Arizona, you are going to jail for life.
Ooh.
Arizona is no longer going to tolerate adults knowingly engaging in heinous activities despite knowing the minor's children's age. We believe in this message so much that we want it enshrined in our Arizona Constitution. It's time to hold these traffickers accountable for their heinous crimes against our children. As a caucus united in support of our values, we believe this is the best way to join with other Arizonans to take a strong stand against child sex trafficking. I learned this morning that California already has something like this in their constitution, so we are going to go a little further than what they did, but they did something in 2012. Today, the House and Senate will file legislation. I will file my interest after this press conference, and I know Representative Bliss already signed it. But we want to make sure that we are putting away these child sex traffickers, put them in bars for the rest of their lives. When this bill passes both chambers, voters will decide in November 2024 whether to increase these penalties for child sex traffickers and those who pay to engage in sex with a trafficked minor. The safety and well-being of Arizona's children is a top priority for me, our Republican caucus, and this is a potential ballot referral that we believe that will be enshrined in our Constitution. I invite you all today to sign up, send a message loud and clear that our children are not for sale. Not here, not never, not ever. Please join this fight to save our most precious resource, our neighbor's daughter, son. They all need your protection. One Arizona victimized child is way too many. Thank you so much for standing with us today, and we're here to take some questions.
Yeah, so if we have any questions, before we do that though, do we have any victims that wanted to come up and say anything at all?
I'll say
Sure,
something.
come on up.
I'm Sherry Lopez, and I was trafficked at the age of 15 by my high school boyfriend's father. So this does happen in our schools, and it is happening in our schools. I was trafficked for 7 years before I was rescued by a woman named Pearl at a mailbox, thus my nonprofit. I am unbelievably grateful for all of these brave representatives that have stepped up to do something to prevent other children from going through what I have gone through. And I cannot thank you all enough from the bottom of my heart, and we need to get behind them 100%.
Thank you. Anybody else? We're good? Okay, any questions at all? Kind of a straightforward bill, so if there aren't any, I understand.
Who's against this?
That's it, yeah. All right, guys, well, thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Hope you can get support behind this and have a great rest of your day. So thank you, guys.